So, folks, get ready for it. You now have the very likely going to be taking place, the establishment of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Now, very briefly on this, Islamism should not be confused with Islam, the religion. Islamism can go back to the Egyptian model of Islam, started by the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, which had merged basically the ideas of socialism with the ideas of Sharia law. They had books like In the Footsteps of the Quran and so on, where they reinterpreted Islam and brought in a lot of elements from communism, frankly. Now, their spread of the Egyptian model of Islam, Islamism, made its way to Iran, made its way to different countries. It was part of the Red Prince Rebellion. You might know the Prince Rebellion that took place in Saudi Arabia, where individuals, including a lot of the ones who were closely aligned with Obama, made an attempt to basically have a communist revolution in Saudi Arabia put down by the king. Those individuals are still functioning. And basically what you have is a breakoff from the Muslim Brotherhood, which was Al-Qaeda, is the more armed, violent revolutionary branch, as opposed to Muslim Brotherhood, which was more the politically aligned branch. In other words, this is a communist movement, folks. In fact, I want to do something a little more in depth on this. If they're declaring an Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, that means that very likely Afghanistan is going to be in a similar position to Pakistan, or, well, more like Iran going forward, especially if they begin aligning more closely with the Chinese Communist Party. A few big points on this, though, is going to be how the Chinese Communist Party deals with the issue that while they persecute Muslims, the Chinese Communist Party frankly, in the world, is the biggest organization launching persecutions against people of the Muslim faith. Again, the Muslim Uyghurs in East Turkestan, also known as Xinjiang. The Chinese Communist Party is carrying out a genocide against Muslims. How do they deal with that when dealing with the Taliban? The other issue you have is through the Belt and Road Initiative. The Chinese Communist Party is getting a lot of Islamic terror groups very, very unhappy, including, for example, doing the One Belt, One Road through Balochistan, heading to, I think, the Black Sea. And so you're having a lot of issues like this emerge for the CCP, where they're at risk of getting involved in the terror war themselves. And so we'll have to see how their attempt to get involved in Afghanistan is going to go. And of course, folks, our hearts go out to Afghanistan and the people there. Actually.